Good day, everyone. This is Juanita Kapp from the Meticulous Moments show, and I am so blessed to be here today. I am so thankful for everything that has transpired in the last 4 years with this podcast, with this show. I'm in season 3, and it has been such a wonderful blessing to meet amazing people from across the globe, interview them, make them a part of the Meticulous Moments show audience and family, because this is what we promote here at Meticulous. It's family, it's community upliftment through leadership development. And every Thanksgiving, I have a special guest on the show. And today we have a very special guest with us for Thanksgiving. And he is Master Valentino Solinas. So I want to welcome him to the stage. Good day, sir. How are you?
Hello, good day. I'm really fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for calling me. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you, sir. And I know that you have a very, very busy schedule. That I do know.
Yeah,
And
to be
still
honest,
you
yes.
make time. You made time to be here today. So I just want to say, Uz, thank you so much from my audience. All the people are going to be listening to your story today because the focus is on you. So I have met you. I know about you. You're a master in Taekwondo, and you have done impeccable things in the world out there. Tell the audience about Valentino Solinas.
Oh, well, it's a long story. I mean, I started martial arts when I was five years old. So 37 years ago, I'm 32 now. And well, simply because I watched The Fist of Fury with Bruce Lee, and I fell in love with martial arts. So I wanted to be like him. I couldn't, but I'm still trying. We will see the result. And since then, I've been training for 37 years till today. I started with Kung Fu, then with karate, and then when I was 16, I started with Taekwondo, and here I am. I am master in Taekwondo and teaching every day, a lot of hours online, in person. So I'm practicing a lot of hours every day between, let's say, if I don't have time that day, it's 2 hours for me, but up to 5 hours just for me, more the classes. So I wake up early in the morning and I start training. And then if depending on the classes, maybe I finish in the evening the rest of the hours.
And I'm so happy that you mentioned that all those years of hard work and dedication. I don't think people always understand the time that goes into the martial arts, especially when you have your own students, when you're teaching. You mentioned online and in person. I think that's a wonderful development that has taken place globally since the COVID, since 2020. So now people have access to training, even though they can't be there in person, but the time that goes in there, the blood, the sweat, the tears. I'm happy that you mentioned that, because in the Meticulous Moments audience, there's lots of individuals, masters that have their own facilities, their own dojos, their own martial arts studios. And I don't think people always realize what dedication it takes to run a school and
it
to
requires a lot of
students.
effort, to be honest. Well, speaking about the online classes, to be honest, I started before COVID with the online classes. And then, of course, with COVID, that field exploded completely. I mean, okay, now it's going really well, but I started before.
That's wonderful.
And about dedication, well, yes, we are masters. So in my opinion, a master is somebody that you are not a master because somebody gives you a certificate. You're a master because you keep on practicing that art your whole life. It's like big masters of the past. I mean, like Leonardo, Michelangelo, Italian painters, and they were called masters. They didn't say we are masters. People used to call them masters because they were practicing and practicing and practicing their whole life until the day they died. And they improved so much that they really reached, the meaning of mastery.
That's right.
In something. That's what I think. Yeah, certificates are important, but it's developing your art,
Yes.
and improving and thinking about it, and study and practicing. For example, yesterday I was practicing my blocks during the forms. I understood some mistakes I was doing after 37 years, still making mistakes, and I understood how to block, to block, let's say perfectly. Perfection
Yeah.
doesn't exist. Better, okay, to
That's
block
right.
better that block. And I was really happy about that, because I was practicing that form. I've been practicing that form for 20 years maybe, and yesterday something, I don't know, something changed, and I understood better the movement. I was so
Yeah.
happy. So it's a matter of practicing, thinking, really thinking on it,
That's
and
right.
applying what you think you improved. And
I agree. I agree. Honing that skill. And I think that's the beauty, and martial artists will understand this. That's the beauty of our martial arts journey, because we keep learning. It's like there's something new and fresh waiting for us tomorrow. And especially when we start to take these blocks and punches, and the different forms that we learn, or the katas, and we apply them in a practical manner, and we learn the bunkai, and we learn the application thereof, then we start to understand in our minds, when we are doing it, well, what are we actually doing? Am I breaking someone's arm? Am I throwing them over my shoulder? That's the beauty of martial arts. It
yeah.
really never gets old. It
Well, to be
always
honest, I have a big example who is my master, who is 80 years old,
good.
Grandmaster Song Jong-ho from Busan, but living in Klagenfurt, Austria. And
Yeah.
he's still practicing every day for
Wow.
himself, more the classes. So
Wow.
a lot of hours every day, and still creating forms, thinking how to improve even the old forms, alive,
Yeah.
dedicated to classic Taekwondo. So with an
Absolutely
example like
awesome.
that, you never train enough. even when you think, oh, today I've trained 5 hours. Yeah, but my master for sure, when he was 42, used to train more.
That's right. That's absolutely right. I read an article. I can't remember exactly which publication, so I'm just going to paraphrase it. But they mentioned that the masters from Japan, from Okinawa, in those years when they just started out, Funakoshi and all of those wonderful people that brought us the martial arts, they used to do stretching for 2 to 3 hours before they even started training. That's how important stretching is, and looking after your body is, because for those of you out there that are martial artists, you know this, but for those of you who maybe think you want to start martial arts, wonderful, do it. It's the best decision you'll ever make. But for those who are not martial artists, it's you use all of the muscle groups in your body when you are busy doing martial arts. There's certain things that have to move at the same time, and that's a technique in itself. Also, the hip movement and the arms and the legs. Tell the audience more about that.
Yeah. But when we speak about Funakoshi and those masters, I can read books on them and I believe
Yes,
what is written. But in this case, I really see my master still
your master.
practicing strong. So it's not a
Right.
legend, it's not a book.
It's
He's in
true.
front of me practicing. So he motivates me so much.
Does he live in your same area? Is he close to you, and you guys
No,
still
sadly
train
not, because I
together?
live in London. I was in
Ah,
Udine, Italy, near Trieste,
ah,
and he was just 90 minutes from Udine. But now that I live in London, he's far. I'm going to meet him next month in December, but yeah, from London now it's harder to meet, let's say.
absolutely
But we still
fantastic.
meet. We still
But
meet.
he's still training. He's
Yeah,
still training at 80 years old. I know Grandmaster Eric Lee. I'm sure you know more Grandmaster Eric Lee as well. I saw him at the Umahof Hall of Fame in Houston, and
yeah.
he was doing a kata there. He's called the King of Kata. He was performing there, and let me tell you, he told me he's 70 years old, and he is nimble. He is uh, fast. His moves are on point, and that's all because, like your master, he keeps training and training. You'll always see him busy with something. Grandmaster Lee will never just sit back, and he's always busy with something, because he always says he wants to inspire people until he expires one day. And I think that is the heart and the mind of a martial artist. We use the martial arts to shape our character, to build life. It influences every part of our life.
Yeah, if you stop training even for a while, you pay it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you feel you didn't
Yeah.
train, especially now that I am not 30 or 25 anymore. 32, you are not old, but you're not young. So you're not, 20 years old. So I feel it when I don't eat properly, if I don't drink enough, if I don't train enough, the stretching, the conditioning of the body, you go backward. So you have to
Right.
push all every day, pushing, not fanatically, but going
Yeah.
on. Otherwise,
Right.
you go backwards.
That's
So
right.
it's really
That's
important.
you
Not every day you wake up and you feel, amazingly, but still you must try to, the important thing is to start. When you
Mm,
start warming up, even if the body that day doesn't feel so good, you
yeah.
start warming up always more, and then you start practicing seriously with full power. But
Mhm.
it's a matter of your mind. I mean, start, and then everything
Right.
comes.
That's right. That's right. You have to push your own limits,
Yeah,
because
it's
in
your mind. You have to
essence,
push your mind.
your
Body
mind.
follow. It's the
Mind.
mind.
Yeah. The body follows where the mind goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
If you're
if
in
you
the
don't
right
think you
frame.
can, you are right. And if you think you can, you are right.
That's
So
true.
you are
That's
right in
true.
any case. So think you can and push.
And you can do it. You can do it. Chris Tice always says, he's a man member. He always says can't, never did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah. I
I don't
mean,
always go to the gym to train. Many
yeah.
times I train here in the living room, because here
That's
it's
it.
today there was -4 degrees, so it was not so pleasant to go outside. So I'm training in the living room. No worries. 2 hours training
Exactly.
here.
And
So
it's
if you
done,
see many of my videos on Instagram are in the living room.
But you still got that training in.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
spoke
Every place can be a dojang. In Taekwondo, dojo in Korean is dojang. It's
to
the same
Zhang.
same meaning. Yeah. Yeah. Every place can be a dojang. So if you want to
That's true.
train, that's the important part. You need
Yeah.
to want to train.
That's right. That's right. Pushing yourself and saying, "Well, I am going to train today." I have a amazing coach as well. He's Coach Marvin King. He's also a master here in the US, and he teaches Qigong online, amongst other things as well. He has the Bowie Kettle Club, but he explained during one of the public speaking events that I had that, and I'm sure you can relate, because I related to it as well. He said, when we start martial arts, we are so excited to start that sometimes, and this is when we're younger, we overtrain, right? So we just keep pushing, we ignore the injuries, we just keep going, and there's this goal. And then he says, when you start to go into your 30s and your 40s, it's like you start to understand your body.
Yeah.
So you understand that, you like you said, you have to keep training, you have to do at least something per day, and you have to start taking care of, if you sustain an injury, you have to like use the other parts of your body to compensate, but make sure that you're looking after your overall health. But again, he said, it's all in your mind. It's all about what your frame of mind is about that day, the things that you're going through, the training that you're doing, maybe your injury. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let's say that laziness is easy. Okay.
Yeah.
So we really must fight laziness. I mean, everybody, I mean, we all love to stay on the sofa watching Netflix and on maybe social media. You'll stay there. It's easier, but we must find the strength inside of us to stand up and start trading anyway. I mean, we don't have to take the easiest decision, let's say, but stand up and fight for your health, for
Yeah,
yourself, for
that's
your
right.
passion. So
That's right.
I understand people who are lazy. I mean, I really can understand it because it's easy. But
Yeah.
And then at some point, when you are 50 and you didn't train in anything, not only martial arts, and your body starts to be weak and you
You
start to
make
be
it.
to get injured because you get injured anyway, even if you don't train,
That's right.
and maybe you didn't eat properly and you starting being too much fat, so moving becomes
Difficult.
harder. So, and then what? Don't you want to be an 80 years old man, healthy, and
Mm-hmm.
to be able to play with your sons or grandsons, and having a walk outside with your wife? I mean, enjoy life even if you are 80. Okay,
That's right.
you need a good body. You need passion too, because you need to think about something when you stop working. For example, in our case, my work is to teach, but for
Mm-hmm.
somebody else who has a work, for example, then they need a passion, because when that work stops at some point, when they are 70, they need something to read, something to practice, something to do, something to think about. So it's important to have a passion to live a mentally healthy life.
That's right. That's right. And mental health, Valentino, I believe that martial arts carried us through the COVID time because a lot of things went south in COVID for a lot of people around the world. And, martial arts makes us strong so that we can handle those things, so that we can understand where we are with ourselves and in the world and how we can make that better. I've had days, and I've said this in an interview before, where I would go to the dojo. Before, this is before or after COVID, because in COVID we trained online, but I would go to the dojo and I would be there and have so many things going on in my mind. And my Kiyoshi would always say, "Now you leave that at the door. This is your time, no rushing. You leave that at the door. This is your time. Come in and train." And then I would be there for 3 or 4 hours. And when I came out, the most amazing thing would happen. I would
Yeah,
be over all of it. I would have the courage and the strength to continue. I'd have the answers that I needed, because it's like something in my spirit opened up. Right?
yeah, yeah. Well, to be honest, during COVID, I trained even more because I had all day. So believe me, during COVID, I really trained hard because that was more or less the only thing I could do. So yeah, it was morning, afternoon, evening. It was only training because I mean there are many things to train. There are the forms, the stretching part, the conditioning. You have to study how to improve. So buying some books and read how to improve the body flexibility and so on. Then you have to try what you read if it works for you. So it's a life of studying and trying and improving and see what it works and what it doesn't work. So yeah, I mean, all day free. Okay, of course, it was a bad period for everybody, but at least I tried to find a positive point of view. Otherwise, I mean, it was really difficult, I think, for many people who didn't have
Yeah,
that
that's right.
passion or something to do during those bad days.
That's right. That's right. I had something that popped in my mind now as you were explaining that. I want to liken the arts to putting on a cloak or putting on a garment. We can all go to the store and buy the same garment, but when we put it on, it's not going to look the same on all of us, because it's formatted to our shape, it's formatted to us. And I remember a long time ago, many years ago, just when my martial arts journey started, my Kyoshi said, he can teach us this kata and he can show us the moves, because it's something that you learn. But he
Yeah,
says when you make that kata your own, it becomes yours. Everybody's doing that kata at the tournament, but you need to put it on. You need to make it yours. What does it look like when Valentino is doing that kata? It's the same moves. What does it look like when Juanita is doing that kata? Because it becomes a part of us. And I'm so grateful that the martial arts was a part of me and still is during the COVID, because I went through so many things. I don't think I would have survived if I didn't have that mental strength that had been built up. Now, we all have favorite parts of our martial arts journey. I love fighting. That's my favorite part to do. What's your favorite part? Kata, weapons, fighting. What is your go-to on a day that you think man, I really just can't wait to do this and this. What's your favorite part?
Well, to be honest, I like to do what I think in karate it is called kion.
Kyong. Yeah.
So practicing, like for example, yesterday I practiced the stances, the blocks, and the strikes 50 times each arm,
Yeah.
one technique. And then I change 50 times the other technique, like 50 times, bam, bam, with
So
the weights on, bam, 50 times, then change guard, bam, bam. So I love to, and the same with the kicks. One kick with the ankle weight 50 times until, I mean, until you really feel the technique works, the kick or the stance or the block. So until you feel, at some point, many times I even stop counting, because it's more a matter of feeling the technique than counting the technique, because counting can distract you. Just do it until you feel, for you it works. I
that's
love
right.
training. I love training like that. It's easy, let's say.
Yes.
Easy. It's not easy, but it's easy to do 50 times this. It's not easy because it hurts. I mean, it burns a lot after a while. Less easy when you have to do, for example, a 540 kick or a split in the air, and then I do it 50 times anyway. Bam, bam, jumping, 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 jumping. That is really hard, but I love it. I love it. I still can. With my
Yeah.
42 years, I still can. So I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can, because sooner or later, maybe my body will tell me, okay, now no more splits in the air. Let's focus more on the stances.
That's
So I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
absolutely, absolutely. We feel it, we feel it as we're growing older. I can definitely feel the difference, as the time has gone along. But I've seen you do kicks.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I want to ask you about those kicks. Which ones are the ones that you feel that's like your signature kick, for instance? Because I saw that you did the split up. I know that you're a champion as well. Tell us about that.
Well, I think the first jumping kick I learned was the helicopter kick, which is famous because of Jean-Claude Van Damme. So I remember pretty well. I was 12 or 13 when I learned it. So that is, I think, one of my most famous kicks. But I also like all the 540 kicks. There are many. They are called 540 kicks, cheat 720 kicks, or yeah, spin, step over hook. Sorry, step over hook kick. So yeah, those kind of kicks, I love them, and I think you can see that I love them while practicing them. So, and I'm still practicing them a lot, even in the living room. I post yesterday a post on the Cheat 720 in the living room, which is pretty hard, because you see, I mean, you see the television is closed, the fence is literally outside the window. So if I make a mistake, I go into the Thames. You see the sofa. So technically you can do it if you don't make any mistake. But if
Right?
you make, you can fall, let's say, badly, or break something in the house. it's
That's
it's
right.
mental training. It's a mental training. It's not the technique, because I know how to do that, but it's mental. You
It's
must
mental.
be, you must stop thinking that there are obstacles and kick.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I
Mental
agree
training
with you. And
for
you
the
and you
for the
didn't.
mind, the kick.
That's right. That's right. You didn't kick the TV or go through the window because your mind was in the right space. You told yourself, "I know how to do this. I know
Yeah.
my environment. I'm just gonna do it." Um,
Yes.
I remember speaking to my Kyoshi. He's also a world champion, and he just he went for when he won the world championship many years ago. He went onto the floor and he had, we train and we train and we do it so many times. But Valentina, I'm sure you have competed many times over all these years. You go onto the mat and it's like, um, You know the moves, your body, your muscle memory is there. You've done it 1,000 times. You can do it in your sleep. So sometimes, and this happened to him at the World Championships, you walk onto the mat, you bow, you shout the name of your kata. They say Hajime, and you start. And when you finish the kata, you are like, I don't even remember doing this kata.
Yeah, it's true.
Happened to you
The
before?
stress. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's true. It's true. It's like that. You forget
Yes.
what you did. It's
You
true.
did the whole kata, but you forgot you were in a whole different zone.
Yeah,
You just
yeah,
went, and he actually won the world championship like that. Now I want to ask you something. We talked about being mentally strong. Do you do breathing exercises as part of your regimen? Do you do meditation? What
yeah.
is your advice to people out there to fix their focus?
Well, we can always meditate more. Okay, it's never enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, in classic taekwondo, so our kind of taekwondo, more focused on stay healthy than on fighting and breaking things. For example,
Yeah.
we do all that kind of stuff, but it's really focused on meditation while moving and while breathing. So it's all together. When you do a yang, which is a kata, okay, a yang, a form, that is already meditation, and you must focus on how to breathe to give full power to the block, to the kick, or to the stance. The stance must be strong, must be stable, and that is how you breathe.
Mm-hmm.
If you make some mistakes breathing, you don't finish the form because you are out of breath. You are we have forms like 99 movements, 124 movements. So if you don't breathe properly, it's you don't reach the end. Or if you can go till the end of the form, at some point you are weak because there is no more energy
No
to
more
finish the
breath.
form. So you really need to meditate, to go in, inside a different world, learn how to breathe during the form, during the technique, when you chamber and when you really block or strike,
Mm-hmm.
and breathe in the correct way to be able to perform in the correct way. Otherwise,
Right.
it's not possible. It's not
That's
possible.
right.
And we still make mistakes. So my master too still makes mistakes while and he gets angry because I make a mistake while breathing, because sometimes I don't know, something can distract you and you stop breathing
Right.
properly, and it's difficult to do a perfect, let's say, perfect word form.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the breathing, very, very important. Like you said, you run out of steam if you don't breathe correctly, and you're
yeah,
not as powerful. I remember when I
even
started,
for normal life, you don't
even
breathe
for normal life,
properly.
right? Yeah,
It's difficult to climb a mountain. Even just
that's right.
walking, it's difficult. I
It
mean, so
is.
when you learn it, then you can make mistakes, but
Pace yourself.
it's different. Yeah, it's a different life. Let's say breathing is really life.
That's the truth. Absolutely, absolutely. In our style, Shoran Ru Shoran Kan, when we do kata and we have a kia, like a strike,
Yeah,
we scream, right?
yeah,
So what does that do? There's a function for it. It tightens your abdominal muscles
yeah,
and
yeah.
it
To
gives you
to
that
use
more
the cut.
power,
Yeah,
grounds you.
yeah,
Now, I want to talk to you about energy, Valentina, because it's very important that we protect our energy first of all. I'm a firm believer of that. We need to protect our energy. We need to siphon our energy. We need to enhance it through different methods. Tell me about how you approach energy work. What is your definition of chi or energy or life force? How does that fit into your model of martial arts?
let's say that I notice we call it ki in Korean, which is more similar to Japanese.
Right.
I notice it. I notice when it works, and it not always works
That's right.
during
I'm
the
so happy
break,
you said that.
because we still break real bricks, real big boards. Okay. So when it works, you don't need to hit really strong. When it
Yeah.
works, you simply break the bricks. You simply break the board. My master breaks also the stones. When you are able to breathe in the right way, and thanks to that and your concentration, you are able to use the chi. When you hit, you really destroy, you really
Yes.
break. So
That's right.
without using the muscles, muscles must be ready. Okay, I train a lot my body, but when it's correct, you really pass through the brick with the energy, and they
Mm-hmm.
explode. I mean, it seems like a movie, but it's like that. Especially, I mean, I am 90 kilograms and pretty, built. So when you see me doing 6 bricks, they say, okay, because he's big. But when you see my master, who is probably 55 kilograms, breaking a stone, which I choose, so he doesn't choose the stone. I go in the middle of the river, I take a stone,
Yeah.
okay, and I give it to him, and he breaks that stone that was in the water, and you see he's like this, really thin.
Small.
You really feel, you can see in front of you real energy. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I can't push him. If I try to push him, I tried once, I don't move him, but he can do like this, and my 90 kilograms fly away. No, believe me, it seems a
That's
movie.
good. I mean, I've seen that
When you
before.
see something like that in front of you, it's something you can't
Like a
understand.
wall.
Years. That's why you need a
Energy.
lot of years of practice
That's good.
to maybe understand a little part of that energy.
That's
So
good.
nowadays it's difficult to be really focused like that, like he is, because we have hectic lives. I mean, working. I mean, London. You can imagine London, okay? So it's difficult to
Good.
be really zen in London. He can. Taekwondo is his life too, but Austria is more, quiet. It's not London, Klagenfurt, so it can be, quiet and meditate and breathe and thinking. So and he was born in Korea. I mean, he went to Austria when he was 35, so for the first 35 of his life, he was in Korea, so a completely different place
That's right.
compared to this part of the world. So that's probably how he learned to use his energy completely.
Mm-hmm.
Because believe me, it's completely. He can really use his energy and break something on, or even he can give you energy when you can't break something, and you are trying and trying and trying, and the hands start to hurt because it's a brick.
That's right.
He can, just looking at you, he can pass you some of his strength, and in the end you can break it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
regardless
believe
of
that.
pain, you can do it. It happened to
I
me.
believe that.
My fourth dan, it happened to me. I couldn't break that brick, but he was there near me, and he gave me the strength to do it in the end. After many, many attempts, believe me, my hand was hurting. Believe me, I was
Yeah.
about to quit, but I know that quitting was something, my last
Not
resort.
an
Like
option.
I didn't have to. Okay,
Yeah.
he gave me the strength to break that brick. I have the
I
video.
believe
I
that.
will send you later. I have the video.
I believe that 100%. I believe that 100%. It's funny how we watch the Marvel movies, right? And we
Yeah.
see people doing incredible things. And only in the last few years, Valentino, you've seen probably, have there been videos that have been surfacing about people that's really doing things like that. Now, I just wonder, where does everybody think those ideas for the Marvel movies came from in the first place? There are people out there that can do these things. I've seen it with my own eyes. I know that happened because I've seen it with my own eyes. I have seen people doing crazy and impeccable things through their energy and their focus and just being concentrated in that task. And key is very, very important. We have to work at that. And you mentioned something very, very, very good. You said it's not always there. Now, there are individuals out there in the Meticulous Moments audience that are martial artists, and if they are struggling with raising that, I call it chi, but that's just my pronunciation of it. But if they want to raise their ki and make it stronger, be more grounded, be more in tune with the universe, with themselves, with that power, how do they go about doing that? Give them some advice, please.
About the key, you mean?
Yes.
I mean, I think there are
Generating that power.
steps in life. Like when you are young, it's normal that I'm speaking about Taekwondo. Okay,
Yeah.
it's normal that you want to jump, you want to kick in the air, you want to do all that acrobatic stuff. I still like to do, but at some point when the body can't anymore, or the body is starting to send you like signals, like yeah,
Yes.
but be careful. At some point, your interests in your martial art change and you start thinking more about ki and energy because I mean they are
Channeling.
steps in life in your martial
That's
art
right.
life, you know, at some
It's a
point
journey.
they live together, yeah, jumps, kicks, extreme kicks, and then you start learning ki to improve those kicks, and then at some point probably you will think more about the energy that you need to live healthy, to live better, because that energy gives you gasoline for when you are older. Okay, so at some point something happens and you think more about that, and you
Mm-hmm.
performs in a completely different way, and you maybe you just teach the acrobatic kicks but you don't practice them so much. Maybe once in a while, yes. My master still can do the 540 kick slowly, but he
Wow.
can. The
You
540 hook kick, I mean. So slowly, but he can. He can. Not
good.
immediately. I saw him doing it. Probably he was 70 something. No,
Wow.
now I don't know. But when he was 70 something and still doing the Chit 720, was so called Chit 720. So
That's
slowly,
incredible.
but he could do it. So I mean, but it's more about energy now. It's more
Mm.
about breathing, energy, key, and apply these things on the forms while moving, while doing the kion, the combinations of the
That's
techniques.
right.
And you can see, you can feel the ground moving when he moves.
Yeah.
Wow, and that is energy, like
That's energy. That
that
is,
that comes to us people, you know.
yeah, and
It's
energy.
really impressive.
That is. It's
Yeah.
very impressive. You are very blessed to have your master. I want to tell the audience something, and this is something that I learned in my, and now, get this. I was a pastor for 15 years, so I worked with energy in a spiritual manner. But at that same time, I was training martial arts, so I worked with the energy and ki and chi.
Yeah.
And I saw different sides of energy, and I want people to know this. You cannot do away with energy. Energy is
No.
there. You can transfer energy. You can swap good energy, bad energy for good energy. And
Yes.
that's in essence what you do when you've had a bad day and you're carrying all this energy and you're going in the dojo and you're training, you're swapping, man, you're making that powerful energy. When you come out there, you feel like a champion. But energy is transferable. Like you mentioned earlier, your master
Yes.
transfer energy to you. And I saw that in the ministry as well, Valentino. I
No, no,
saw
no.
how people use energy and pray for people and they get healed.
Yeah,
Same thing.
not only for breaking things, but even to face difficulties in
Yes,
life, for example.
yes, that's right. And that's why energy is so important. You get people they're naturally strong. They're
Yeah.
just born strong. And they use that strength in their martial arts or in the sport that they do. I believe those people have a bigger blessing of ki. They have a quicker access. Everybody has this power, this energy, but they just have quicker access to it. Let me use
Yeah.
an example. There's someone that I know that's very strong, but when they get in the ring and they get very angry, they become like the Hulk. And that's not just adrenaline, it's like that energy flows towards one place, that focus. Where that focus goes, that energy flows. It's so important that we work on our energy. How many times a week would you suggest people work on breathing and energy work?
It's an everyday work. Sometimes,
Absolutely.
for example, I live like 15 minutes from the underground by feet, and sometimes because I have to do to take that walk, while walking, I start playing with my breath, and breathing and feeling the stomach while breathing. And I also sing. So for me, it's it's more important because in singing, I really know how to breathe during. I mean, while I sing my songs, and not to get to be out of breath during a song. So for me, it's double important because it's for martial arts
That's
and for singing, and I every time I can, I let's say play with my breath because I really need it in normal life. I think it's good. It's stronger when you breathe properly. You are stronger. I mean, nobody can say the opposite. It's like that. When you can breathe, you are stronger in many things of your life. So I would say it's not something you do twice every week or three times every week. It's something you do every time you can during your day. I mean, you are for example driving. Why not breathing properly, play with your breath, or meditate? Of course, always be careful while driving, but you understand at what level. Okay, so why not? I mean, I do. I practice like that because there is not always the time during the normal life to stay there and meditate like you see in the movies. But every moment can be okay. Every moment can be a good moment to play with your breath and understand more how to push air, inside of you, and maybe find the strength to do something that can be called, let's say, incredible. Okay, so every day, I would say every day. It's not every day and every time you can.
absolutely, I agree with you. Breathing is so important. I was on one of my public speaking events, and Coach King that I introduced you, that I talked to you about earlier. He said, Juanita, and he used it as an example. He said, Juanita, your breathing is different because he knows me. He knows my body language as well. He said, your breathing is different when you do Qigong to when you're doing public speaking. He says, I can see the breathing changes. And then he was talking about how important breath is, and he used that as an example. All the pieces that we are made of, body, soul, spirit, and it was so great to see how we wove all of that together. Now,
And if you stop
character.
practicing, you feel it. If
You
you stop
feel it.
practicing, yeah, you feel it. You feel it. You go backward. It's like training. It is training. You forget. Then you relearn easily. Okay, if you practice enough. But if you stop, then you go backwards with your
Right.
training.
You have to keep up with it. You have to keep up with it. And it's like changes that are made become a part of our lifestyle. So that's, I think, the most important thing that I enjoy about the martial arts. My whole lifestyle changed. The way I think, the way I do things, the way I raised my kids, the way I do business. Everything changed when I started to do martial arts. And that also is because of the character changes that we undergo. What was the most enlightening character change that you underwent when you started, or on your martial arts journey? What was the biggest change that you saw?
Well, to be honest, this is a difficult question because I was a kid, so I was 5. So for me, this is the only life I know. I simply train every day, and I ask to my mind and to my body. I keep on asking always more, and because I train every day, I can ask. I still can ask always more. If I maybe stopped, in that case, if you stop, you can't ask always more. You must restart from some steps before be smart like that. Start from steps before, and then going on with the journey. If you think when you stop that you can start again from the same point, then you get injured. Especially in our case, that you have all, I do all the backflips and all those kind of kicks. If you don't train for a while, it happened to me because of some injuries like 20 years ago, and I started again thinking I was like before, but from December to April, I wasn't like before. So when I started again, I got injured again because I wasn't ready. I thought I was, even if I was young, but it was not like that. So I understood, you see, you can't start from the same point. You have to restart and then slowly reach the level you had. And all the jumps I learned, the backflips, 540, I learned them when I wasn't a kid. I was 25, 24. I wanted to learn them. Nobody was, let's say, able to teach me those kind of things. I wanted to learn them, and I learned them alone with all the bad attempts. Okay, but I learned them alone, and I was already an adult because 22, 23, 25. So I didn't learn them when I was a kid. That is the power of your mind, because I was already an adult. My body was ready because my body, I was used to train the body strongly, okay? But I had to fight against my fears because, have you ever done a backflip? Going backwards in the air, believe me, it is scary. So I had to fight against that because I really wanted to do a backflip. And then I learned many other things: flash kick, double flash kick, like kicking in the air, doing a while backflipping, let's say. So it was thanks to martial arts, because I was able to be focused enough and smart enough to study and learn how to train the body and the technique to do finally, let's say, the backflip or many other things. So that was thanks to martial arts. I'm pretty sure I reached some goals in my life thanks to martial arts. They taught me how to overcome difficulties, how to go on even if the situation is really hard in life, and go on anyway. So I can't tell you what's the big change for you that martial arts gave you, let's say, but because this is my life. This is the only life I know. I was a kid, I started, so there was, let's say, no life before that, more or less 5 years. So, but I'm pretty sure that martial arts taught me all these things, all these rules, all these, they helped me a lot to
Absolutely.
reach the goals I reached in life. Even to come here, it was not easy to come from Italy to London. I didn't know anybody, didn't know the city. I'm
Yeah.
still improving my English, okay? Because it's one thing is to study English from Italy, another thing is to speak in British here in London, which is completely different. Believe me. So that was something that my wife believed in me, okay, and pushed me to come here. But also I was focused enough thanks to martial arts to say, okay, I can do it. I live my country, I live the country where they speak my language, and I go to London and do what I love and teach martial arts. So that is also thanks to first my wife and martial arts.
And that's a happy life because you
Yeah,
have your
yeah,
family and you moved everything over to the UK. There you are with your family that you cherish, and you have the martial arts.
yes.
And you get to do what you love every day.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
whole
yeah. Everything I want, I have it.
wow.
And I
That's
travel the world teaching. So I love traveling. And for example, in the next few months, I will be teaching in Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Bucharest, Istanbul, in Oman. So tomorrow I leave for New York. So I love traveling. I love teaching. I love my family. I have everything I want.
And you know what? You're blessed, and this is an amazing part of this interview because today's Thanksgiving, and I'm so
Oh yeah, it's
grateful for
true. Have
you.
a good
I'm so
day.
grateful that you have your life, your family, the arts, that you get to travel, you get to do what you love.
Yeah,
And I want to say something. Your dedication to the arts and to people, because I know that you love to help uplift people, you love to empower people, you love to teach them how to be dedicated like yourself, you want to improve their lives. It's all of those things, Valentino, that come together, that are woven together into your life story. And you are the main character of that story, changing lives,
yeah, yeah,
creating futures for people. I have to say, our Kiyoshi has been instrumental in the lives, my life and the lives of my children. I saw such a tremendous change in my son that I was blown away when I saw how he was developing, how he got the confidence to do the arts, how he had his character was strengthened. He became just a strong little guy. And I would often tell him, I would say, Josh, you're still a young boy, but sometimes you speak to mom, and it's like I'm speaking to an old wise man, and he would just laugh. But their energy merges with this energy that we collectively share as martial artists. I believe that. I believe we share an energy across the globe. Valentino, I will meet people at events and different types of corporate things, and I just look at someone and I'll start talking to them. I wouldn't even have asked already if they're a martial artist, but I'll know, because I feel that energy that we share. Now, I want to thank you for everything that you are doing out there in the world. Thank you for all the people that you are teaching. You're a family man. You're putting out all the right morals and values out there in the world. I'm proud of you. And I'm proud to also welcome you into MAM, because you are a person of high caliber. You have a strong character and you are a genuine person. And that is something to be very proud of.
thank you. I feel really flattered. Thank you very much. Flattered and honored by your
You're
words.
very
Thank you.
welcome. You're very welcome, and you'll always be a part of the Meticulous Moments family. You're a
Yes, I
MAM
will.
Hall of Fame inductee. Congratulations on that.
Thank you
And
very much.
you're welcome. I believe we met through Ron Smorenberg,
For sure. We will meet
and
very
he's
soon.
our friend. And we want to say hi to Ron today. I know, I know. This week he was busy with projects, and he's going to be here next week in Texas. So thank you, Ron, for making this introduction. Valentino,
Thank you,
God
Ron.
bless. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day and have safe travels. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, and have a good day. Special day for you.
Thank you so much, my
Sure,
friend.
my friend.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. What a wonderful interview, guys, with such an amazing person that's doing so many good things out there. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding of the martial arts and of life, because those go together. I want to say thank you to everybody who has joined us today on this special day. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I will see you in the next session. And remember, the MAM registrations close tomorrow, so make sure that you are ready, that you're there, that you come and network and connect with legends from across the globe. God bless everyone. Bye bye.